Black Quant VTF here, T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show, where we go through a bunch of the stuff that's happening right now. And for today, too, it's like we had some technical difficulties last week, but one of the important things that you want to remember is that everything's going to trade in a sequence, and by that I mean everything either reconfirms or negates what's going on, the direction. And so, if we go back in time here, just to, when people are having tough times in the down market, because a lot of people have never seen one, and we are actually tanking here after hours, and I'll get to that in a second. But if you take a look at, once again, let's just review what we're looking at here in the S&P, and you can see how well telegraphed everything is. So what we knew was the 2-2 reversal here, caught the high. Then it comes down, then it goes inside, and we can expect it to go back and forth for that month. And now we've got the 2-1-2, trying to go for the measured move and maybe take this triangle down into here, like so. We'll see. But right now, you can't dispute that it's going to be mighty tough to turn that green, right? So the monthly is red. Now the question is, can you, after taking this stuff out, can you get back up into there, right? But how, even in January, how are you going to take this high out, right? You're probably not going to do that, right? So the best hope you would have is to go inside month or go slightly to the downside and then come back in for the compound 3. But for right now, that monthly is bright red and it's inside to the downside. So here was another chance, was that when we came down here in the weekly and we came back up into here, right, the potential, this was an outside week, to try and go outside week. But we didn't do that. We came down for the Momo shooter, boom, and we took that out. Now, if we get on to the daily, we made the slight lower low. So as of right now, we're taking out these lows again. They're hitting them after hours with the FedEx and MU earnings. We'll see what comes. We got the Fed and we got oil number in the morning. So the thing we would have to do first, we'd go to 60. If you're going to reverse, we try to get the 60 reversal here. You can see here, I talk about exhaustion risk anytime you go into new lows or new highs. This is what I was talking about on the bell. Slight lower low. There's nobody has anything left to be long against. Take them out. And then, boom, 30 pops back up. And then you can see right at the end of the day, boom, inside 5, there's your 2-1-2 reversal into the bell. So when you know this, you can make more than it actually moves. But basically, you just want to be able to see this sequence, because now that you go back to the daily, what's the next two? Which side are we going to take out of this? Right now, we're trying to get to the downside. So all that stuff would have to change. When people keep trying to bottom pick and all this kind, this is my support level, that stuff has to change. And it's going to be constantly changing. So as we come in here, in order to make the weekly positive, first of all, you'd have to take the continuity. Then how are you going to be 2 to the upside next week, right? That's the ones you're always thinking. So it's only Tuesday, but we'll see. So if we go into yesterday, if just watching the 60s makes things so much cleaner. And you can see yesterday we got a simultaneous break. And what that means is, and it usually occurs on a Monday or the beginning of a quarter or the beginning of a month, when all these new setups come into be, or there's a liquidity event like a new quarter. So what I mean by that is that on Monday, right, we know that all this, only the monthly signals are in force, and they were discernibly already to the downside. And we had inside weeks, and we had these Momo shooters, which I'll get to in a second, like we had in the SPY. So we trigger on Monday. First, we had exhaustion risk yesterday, right? We gap down into new lows, right? That's exhaustion risk. And so anybody who's short starts to come back up, make them cover, right? So then you got the inside 60 right there. There's your 2-1-2 reversal, and that triggered the massive simultaneous break. Remember, we want to come back through previous ranges, which we did, and that reinforced my simultaneous break. Almost every monthly, weekly, and daily setup was breaking to the south, downside. Every one of them, even the 60s, right? That's how you know to take that. So if you were trying to buy yesterday, and you see all sectors are down, you're getting killed, right? And today, they tried to pop it back up and tried to hold on to the inside day, but then what happened again? Inside 60. And that dumped the sell-off. Then you had your exhaustion risk. So understanding the simultaneous break when you have like QQQ and all this stuff all broke at the same time. So here in this case, the shooter, the 2-2 reversal here, 2 up, 2 back down, right? And it was in everything. So if we go to the Qs right now, no more inside month for you. You're a 2 down after today. And here, so you get that momentum shooter to the downside, right? Now you got exhaustion risk in here. Can they keep hitting them? And Q's closes inside day, although MU's getting slammed, and right now they're leaning toward that being gapping to the downside, because we had diamonds And because of the volatility, also you're going to notice a lot of the charts look the same. And by that, I mean that those weeklies from getting thrown around like ragdolls, a lot of things look the same. A lot of the weekly Momo shooters coming into the lows after outside weeks. And that's what's going to happen in volatility. Things will mirror the futures. Now, on a day like today, it makes it a little easier because a lot of things were forming inside days. The Qs, the diamonds, here, and so what's good about that is that made it very clear where to go. Right, we had strength in gold, right, nugget, and we had weakness in IBB and healthcare, XLV, all right, and the crude getting pounded, and so it made it really clear on where you want to be. So let's go back to the REITs here, and the REITs here's when you like yesterday, the simultaneous break here. And you can see the REITs just tanking. I'm not sure if they went 60 on that or not. No, 3-2 to the downside, right, on that opening 60, and just got absolutely obliterated. So now you've got inside days all there. The question is how you're going to get outside of that stuff. Any measured movers or anything like that. You got BXP and you got AVB. And like I said, a lot of this stuff will seem similar. But let's get back to the gold just for a second. Because gold, what we do have here, you've got your inside month going the other way to the upside. And so what you'll see is slight higher highs. Come back here. Remember, support and resistance is never horizontal, and there's your broadening formation. So trying to go through there, and gold also has the advantage of this. Now you're inside week to the upside. You're still 2-bar pattern, so you got some room to try and take this out. And then going back through previous range. That's what you want to do, right? Because pivot machine guns. Because anytime that you start reversing off lows, right, and coming back through previous range, not only do you have full time frame counting to the upside when the 60 and the daily are also green, but you have anybody who's short against anything in here, right, and you can turn them into buyers, which fuels the fire, as opposed to, as I was talking about today, when somebody says, ooh, new highs, clear blue skies. No, when you go into new highs, you are at exhaustion risk, right? That's a minefield. You have no idea what's up there. And anytime you go into new highs, that's where people are likely to take profits. Here's where you're going to rip right through them. So gold doing that. You've got nugget here coming through here, negating that 2 to the upside. GDXJ. And keep an eye on that. And JDST I talk about a lot too, because you've got the decay. This thing is just going to continue to decay, and so if you can, one of the ways you can tell if something has decay is pull up a monthly chart and it'll look like that. Something that used to be in the thousands on the splits and all that kind of stuff. That's something you want to know about, especially on the short side, because you can get those good moves, beefy moves when they pop, but over time it's kind of like natty gas, you guys. Over time, you get your pops, but then it just decays again, right? And you'll see that. So with crude oil, here, crude oil weekly, there was the shooter 2-2 reversal on the weekly. Then it didn't make a higher high until here, and went. And if you go to the monthly, here, did we know about this? We did. 3-2 and still going outside. Boom, pivot machine gun through all these guys, right? Now we're looking to come down, see if we can take it all out down into here, right? So that was good. It's just a beefy part of the move was probably gone, because you've got XLE doing this, right? Coming down through all this stuff, XOP, right? XOP and OIH just into oblivion here after the 3-2 weaker that we knew about. So you don't have a lot of that stuff. You've got Oxy doing this. Now, Oxy's got some more here, month and down. If one wants to come down and see all this stuff, we can take a look at Exxon here, and that's just going into recent lows. So that's it's not that they can't keep going, right? So here's Chevron. Chevron could have a little more going here, because you got this outside the 313 now, and you've got this stuff, and then maybe down into here if they really want a pounder. So we can keep an eye on stuff like that. If we go to the XLU. And the utilities were the pillar of strength, but what they do? They went to new highs. Uh-oh. And then what they did? And then they went two back down. So potentially, like I said, if this market's really going to get wiped, that everybody gets hit. And you can see this is the triangle here in the XLU. I just want to go back to that monthly SPY for a second, because you want to see this, even if we take this stuff out, you can see how tight all that stuff. It's just not saying we're going to go through that, but also exhaustion risk is a matter of time. So as we get to the end of the year, we want to see how things shape up. And because of the holidays, the Christmas and the New Year's, you have a good chance of forming inside weeks because you have less time, right? And so that gets very interesting. If you go back to 2016, everything started off like this. rev strat weeks to the downside. We're down about 1,000. If you were back with us back then, let me see, 16. It's going back a ways, but 16 right here, and you can see this. Boom, rev strat weakers to start off the month and the year. 1, 2, 3. Take them out. All right, it's still held above there, but that was quite the smasher. But just on a monthly basis, you can see now that we're volatile. Now we come to form the broadening formation here. Then the question is the follow through. How much worse does it get? And that's where you continue to watch that sequence. Are you anywhere near taking a 2 to the upside of the month or the week? Anything like that? Otherwise, this is all your risk down into here. So, not saying, just saying. We'll see how it goes. If we go to IBB, which was weak today, and IBB does this. Monthly, here's your broadening formation. Still couldn't make it up in here, so it was a low or high to begin with. Now you're just coming through all this stuff, right? You're inside month to the downside. If you've made it through here, the question is going to be weak enough for all this kind of stuff. If we go back to the weekly, you're going to see this. All right, so take this out. So as much as that looks horizontal, it's not. And this will be redrawn at the end of the week. And then, like I said, we're going to keep watching that sequence to see this down in here. Because as of right now, like I said, pretty much everything going inside month and to the downside as far as the broader averages or sectors on the month. So BIIB was nice here. You can see once again, boom, 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 boom. There's another one I want to write down. There we go. So you can see here the triangle's going to need to grow. And it did. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, real move. You sure about that? Now maybe we come down and we can take all this stuff out. You got the momentum shooter here. Tried to get back in. If you go to the monthly, you're going to see this. Outside month. And because we know outside bars exist, this is why the monthly bars and weekly bars can be very important, is because we know that exists. We know that condition happens. That phenomenon happens. So when you take out one side of a range, you start coming back through, that's something I want to know about because we know that we go outside. So today, you had that outside 3-2. Boom, smash this thing, and you still got some room over there. If we go to Regeneron, and Regeneron stuck a little bit different here. Regeneron is stuck in a 2-week pattern in here. Right, and you can see also this. All of this stuff is stuck in here, hasn't been out of there, and that's what gives you this on the monthly, the 2-month inside pattern. So we can expect things to reverse. So although it went month and up, now we see if this thing comes back weekly to rev strat back through this stuff, but we'll see. It hasn't gone yet. If you look at ILMN, see what is all this in here, right, on the weekly, because we got the higher highs. All right, we got that. Where's the lower low? So far, it's moving up in a higher series. However, on the monthly, you can see this, the potential 3. So we can continue to look for that with IBB weak. You can see this now. Sub-try, lower low, higher high, and now inside. Does it try and recapture this, or do we go down, sideways, measured move and try and come after that? So keep an eye on that. So Lily has been one of the stronger ones for a while. And Lily does this. Lily takes him out, comes up there, and now coming close to being the outside month here. And then the question is, can you be weak enough to get back into here? And so this is what I talk about here. You can see it right here as it starts racing back through all this stuff. So we'll see how that goes, because we had obviously some of the healthcare with Johnny John. Humana does this, is going 3-2 month to the downside. Look at all this. And it doesn't mean it's going to take it all out. I said, but it's less exhaustive than going into new highs, is what I'm going to say, right? Because there's that potential that if you've seen how something like NVIDIA can walk up and then just get absolutely destroyed in no time and take out all that stuff. That's why you look for that previous range stuff, something like that. Johnny John, and Johnny John here, green on the week. But what's the next 2 to see if you're going to take this thing back out? And that's why we can watch a bunch of that stuff, because UNH now is exhaustive, because if you look at the daily, well, here you got the weekly, here's your monthly, goes outside and takes all that stuff out. Now you got to come after these guys. All right, the weekly came back through, did its job, take all them out. And so we were watching this on a daily basis. I drew this, I don't know how long ago, but been in many of my videos because we know that once you have a range like this and you get up there and you don't get out, see this exhausted these guys, but wasn't weak enough for down here. Then, oh, this is the real move, is it? Outside here, 2-2, little choppy in the way, and that's why you can use the other time frames. But you can see it eventually broadened, and so now coming back to the original try. So that might be it for now, but we'll see. And Cigna does the same, goes outside. So here's a little bit cleaner on the daily. You're going to see this up 2, back down, puke, and gives you the monthly like this. 3 coming back through after here, coming up through there. So we'll see how that goes. We got Fed day tomorrow, and so FAS here coming back to old try here to the tick so far. All right, so you had your lower high, your 2-2 monther, now your 2-1-2 inside month and down. KRE does this. It's all still in force. KRE does this 1-3, trying to come back through all this stuff. XLF. Similar here, just coming back down. So we'll see. If we go to SIVB, this is something you like to see. The 3-1-3 and just getting destroyed. Now, on the daily, you see this. It's going to go positive. You want to come back through something like this because we did still just open a week. Right? You're not changing that month, but you can take that. You could take that week green and potential 3 if the Fed news gooses them somehow. Goldman Sachs, once again, the 3-2 month to the downside puker. Back to the old range after the triangle, they out up into here. Bam, 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 bam. Now the question is, weak enough to come after this stuff, or is this upper level triangle from here? Right now, the weekly just starts off, and you're green. As a matter of fact, it goes 2-2 reversal to the upside ever so slightly. But you got the Fed coming because you got stuff like Wells Fargo get pounded here and the weekly like that. You see that coming through all there. And here you're going to see the monthly. Try like so. Boom, boom, boom. Try and get that one more time. And then so coming back. Here's the greater series like this. So the question going to be weak enough. Come down and test anything like that. We'll see what happens. STI. Eesh, and there you go, inside month and down, just ripping through all this stuff. And if you go to the weekly, you can see this up in here. Anytime you see a slight higher, slight lower, and back into a range, I don't see the bottom of the triangle. It's coming. Here it comes. Bam. Then triangle became resistance. Now just major expansion, and you can see even tighter tries in here that expanded, and you made it all the way back through. But like I said, we'll see. Also in MYGN, big old try. Another thing to show you here. We watched this one for years. Slight higher high, inside month. Peak. No, that's the real move, is it? Then you'll see these sub-tries in the middle to make sure that nobody's in. And that's why if it wasn't for threes, trading would be very simple. Right? When people call whipsaws or choppy, we know what it's doing. It's taking you out, triangle the ad, bam. This is the real move. It's going to the highs. Is it? Bam. I'm never touching that thing again. Okay, 2-2 weaker, bam. Now we can go. And then eventually all the way dropping back through. So that's starting off the week with weekly like this. So the question is, you triangle them out by going into lows. Does it continue or does it come back into this range? And if it continues, then we're looking for this stuff down into here. So we'll see how that goes. Good XRT retail. Okay, XRT retail. Once again, everything's been so well telegraphed that once you know what we know, I mean, all the monthlies told us what to do, and the weeklies continue to tell us what to do. And there's your slight higher high, greater broadening formation monthly XRT, the 2-1-2 inside down. Now you've taken this out. The question is going to complete the try all the way back down into there. So we'll see for now inside day. So a lot of inside days to try and counter these down moves, but the Fed coming. If you look at AAP weekly, there you go, and coming back through here, so potentially coming back and triangle this out, this 154.02, so I'd keep an eye on that. Casey's, and here you can see this on the weekly, the sub-try of the greater try, and that looks like this. Here and here. There's your broadening formation. Now, forming inside week, the question is, and look at this. This has just been great. Look at this. Anyway, then this makes this look like nothing. And if this looks like nothing and we can pull it off, it looks like this on the daily. Here, back into the previous range. Oops. So you can keep an eye on that. Walgreens, inside day. And it does make it for the outside month, so but coming back through these ranges, so I get my attention coming back through anything like that. All right, because you can see it's like, oh no, and then coming back through them. Oh no, coming back through them. Oh no, coming back through them here and now coming back through them. So we'll see how that goes. And Tractor Supply, it's another one we've been watching for a while here too. Daily like so. See if we can rip her down through this stuff as it goes 2 month down, and like most things, at least at this point, Momo Shooter Weekly. We got Ice Baby and exchanges. Ice coming down here. Still some more stuff down in here, albeit it does this 3 monther. But look at all this work to go after. And here you can see on the weekly goes up into here, now coming back. Here's your lower low. So we'll see if we can get down there, mid 70s or so. And Cummins Engine has been on the show here a few times because of this. Still working down through that. Is already a 3 month. In the weeklies, we've got General Dynamics going inside week and down with the shooter, and you can watch that obviously with the LMT. Raytheon hasn't taken out the mother bar as yet, and Northrop Grumman on the shooter counters hammer week. Tesla, and Tesla goes inside week and down. All right, and so this, you can see this outside week here, and so all you got to do is change time frames. You can see this very clear, and there's your Tesla daily triangle. We'll see if that goes, and then potentially, if it keeps going, you got the potential 3 month to start off the inside year for that. You go to Baba, and Baba almost outside monther, so we'll see how that goes. The greater try. Daily, been watching forever. This tried to get out of the try, and now ripping back through all this stuff. So we'll see how that goes with Baba. Also 2 week on the downer here. VMW, and VMW, here you go, shooter week, and the greater try up like so here. So this thing really hasn't cracked yet. Right? It's coming down a little bit, but we'll see. We also got an inside day there here to see if it triangles this out and back through, or if we can come see all these guys. AVGO, and AVGO is also one that's held up. This was in the video last night. Sitting on the try, one shooter down. It's still month to the upside here if they want to turn these things back up, but certainly would get my attention if we start coming back through here. Spelunk inside day. All right, and here's the greater weekly try like so. Like that. Now, see if we can come back down through here. Right, and here's bam, 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 bam. You can see it all very clearly. And so on the daily, you'll see something like this. That. Then you draw backwards from this to the most recent lower high, and that's that. And that's going to give this, there's going to be a sub-try in here. You got these, but watching this inside day, either side of that, I want to know about. W day, another one that's just not inside, but it's hung up there, and we want to see if we can get this thing cranking back through here, or try and go back up. Right now it's 2 in the week down. NTES trying to go 2-2 weekly down. Still doji on the monthly, but you're going to see this on the daily here. See if we can get back through there. That reminds me, how's Analog Devices doing in there? Yeah, Analog Devices stuck in here too. You might keep an eye on this thing with the semis if they want to start ripping back through that. Symantec, SYMC, inside day, and see sub-try here like this. That there's your higher highs and your lower lows. So the question is going to come back in here, but if it doesn't, here's the greater weekly try. 3-2 to the downside to come puking back through this stuff. So either way there. Facebook, inside monther. But when it starts to tick up, you got full time frame counting to the upside. It was still 2 to the downside, so potential 3 for the weaker. And so we'll see. It's been a little tight there, but it's got some. Checkpoint, CHKP. And checkpoint, big old monthly try like this here, inside month to the downside. So I can keep an eye on anything there. It's inside day as well. TWLO. What you doing up there, boy? Slight higher high, now potential 3. And that would be a whopper if you can take this baby out. So certainly would keep an eye on anything down in here. So constantly going to have sub tries. You know that's going to happen. And there it is. There's your daily try. Boom, 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 boom. Right, that. So one certainly would pay attention if TWLO starts doing that 3. All right. Nice long one today. XLP was one of the gang trying to hold up there, and monthly then went 3-2 now to try and go back to the old try 3 and take that out. Here's the greater try on the monthly, now coming back through. So you can go in Clorox. Clorox is one of those that's been up there, and now 3-2 and coming back through, down through all this stuff would be very nice. So, Coke. Coke's been up there too. That's still inside month. Pepsi. And Pepsi, here's the greater weekly trial like so. Still would be inside month or though, so we'll see what happens there. Maybe keep an eye on these towers too. CCI. And CCI goes weakened down, and we've been watching this daily try for a while, and now it's up into there. Now we'll see if we can get them to take this baby out. You can watch that with American Tower and SBAC. So, all right, we're getting almost half an hour. That's pretty good. So, like I said, when we have this type of volatility, things are going to change a lot, right? And they're going to look a lot like the futures. And so you're going to stay on that 60 futures, right? I got to know what that's doing, right? Because that's telling you what's going on. And for, like today, if we, as long as we're staying inside day and chopping back and around, that's fine. We could go into the sectors. But once you reach an equilibrium on that inside 60 SPY, that's something I got to know about. I got to know the direction and the scenario of the 60 SPY at all times, right? Because you're seeing the futures dictate a lot of stuff. So we got an oil number in the morning. That's already in trouble. And then we got the Fed in the afternoon. We got a lot of inside days, and we'll see if they break first, and then we'll see what happens after the Fed, because that's a new continuity level. So for the rest of the day, after that Fed announcement, we're still going to know if we're above or below that. Just like green day or green week, that's a continuity level because now news is hit. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant VTF here, T3 Live with today's Wheels in Motion show.